Text-to-speech enabled. Hello there.
Hey Corinne, how's it going?
Said going okay. Had an uneventful weekend. Just played Diablo 4. Work was super hectic today but made it through. How are you?
Sounds I had about the same way. It poured rain on Saturday, which was awesome because I didn't feel obligated to do yard work. So I totally just played Diablo 4 all day. I didn't feel bad about it at all. I got 38, 38, yeah. I was trying to get to 40 before the end of the weekend, but it didn't happen. Yeah.
48, but I'm probably going to take it a bit more easy LMAO.
Yeah, I was playing during, the evening, and then like I said, I played all Saturday, but played a little bit Sunday. Wasn't going crazy hard. I was doing a lot of the quests and in my first go round, I was reading all the quest text and the campaign text and watching all the cutscenes. You know, just enjoying leveling. No real rush.
Yeah, dude, there's so much dang stuff to do. Endless side quests, strongholds, gear, random events.
Yeah, I haven't even like touched on so many things where there's so much more than what I've been dealing with. Should probably learn more about the game. Like, I wasn't even really caring about what gear I had. I was just, this gear has a higher score. I'm going to use this. But it's been pretty fun so far. No, tier 2. I started off playing tier 1 for like the first 20 levels, and then it seemed excessively easy. Like everything was super easy. And I thought, I need a little bit of a challenge. Yeah. I think I died once. I died once because I was not paying attention at all. And then I was like, oh crap. Totally just died. Like I was playing Eve. It is 24C. It's
said, yeah, I've died once to a boss and once to just not paying attention.
Well, it was like, it was so easy that I didn't need to pay attention because my health never even moved ever. And so then there was the one boss and I'm like, and I was standing in crap, getting hit and just like, whatever. And then I died. And I was like, damn it. Hey, Pandorate, thanks for the follow. Necromancer. Just because that's what I played in Diablo 2. So it's sort of like nostalgic purposes. I don't know at the higher levels, but I feel like Necromancer at the lower levels is kind of like cheating, because you don't really even need to do anything. Your minions just go around and kill everything. I almost picked Druid. I almost did. That'll probably be the next character I played. I was about to actually pick Druid, and then I thought, no, let's like relive the early days of Diablo and like play the character you played early on. The only thing I can criticize the game for is in the campaign, you're stopping, you know, the bad guys from summoning this monster, this demon, and you're chasing them all over the land because they're unleashing this demon that's going to wreak havoc on the world and just cause destruction. And then they release the demon and you're like, yeah, I dealt with it. And the people you're with are like, yeah, good job, you dealt with it. And it was like, yeah, that was like a minute and a half. Well, that's what it is. It makes you feel super OP. Like, it was Astaroth. Oh my gosh, Astaroth. And you're like, pfft. And then Anandriel, if you pronounce that name, it's like, pfft. Whatever. There's a few glimpses of like Lost Ark. Yeah, like Lost Ark is like that, where you're just like utter destruction of everything all the time. And then I feel like your people don't give you as good enough props as they should for you just utterly wreaking havoc on the demon. Because they're like, oh, we gotta get this demon, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, dude, soloed it. Oh, Lorath is all, you're doing pretty well. You're doing better than I expected. And you're like, dude, just like destroyed that demon. 45 seconds. I think I totally just ran over a piece of glass and is like, the sealant is sealing it. Just gonna put the sealant on the bottom. Oh yeah, there's sealant spraying everywhere. I need to get the pump out. Here, lean the bike. up against this tree. Get out the pump. Where is the pump? Where is the pump? There it is. I'm like, oh my gosh, you telling me I didn't bring the pump? Should be fine. The sealant looks like it's doing its job. It's a huge piece of metal. Funny how you can like feel it losing air as you're riding. No, ran over a piece of metal. I'm pumping up the tire. That's this tiny little pump.
How I got my driver's license a week or so ago. Dude, I have zero interest in going out. Traffic is insane.
Dude, gas prices are crazy insane. It's like $1.97 here. Okay, see how far I can get, or I have to pump everything up again. Oh, it looks like the sealant has totally worked. Totally worked. I think we are back at it. That feels better. It's like the tire kept, I'm like, man, it's getting squishier and squishier and squishier. Problem is you need enough pressure in the tire to actually force the sealant out through the hole. Well, where you live too, who wants to drive around in that traffic?
You pay almost 4x when you do for gas Joss miles.
Ugh. Well, it's tough because in Canada, we live right next to super cheap US gas. And so you're always comparing it to what the gas price is just across the border. But yeah, we're $1.97 a liter, and that's extreme.
Here it's $8 per L or so.
Yeah. I was like, $8 per liter? What the heck is Vancouver charging? That's some serious gas tax. As much as I hated the wind this morning, the wind is kind of nice with this heat. Might have to put some more air in the tires. I think it's holding, but still a bit soft. It's a little squishy in the turns. Let's stop at this bench and put just a bit more air in. Favorite way to cook corn on the cob? Oh geez, I just like boil it in water pretty much. Nothing fancy. All right, more air. I don't get to use this pump very often. It's kind of handy. It's super compact, but man, does it. There we go. $100 more pumps should do it. It's pretty hard now. This pump gets like smoking hot. Yeah, on the barbecue would be pretty good. I don't get corn on the cob too often because my kids both have braces and they can't eat it. So it's just like me and my wife. Yes, no, that's totally true. Yeah. You do need a massive pot. I think it's holding. Go sealant, go. It's kind of good that I added more sealant before BWR. That probably helped. Now I gotta wash my bike though. The sealant sprayed all over the place. It was good. It was like super hard. It was very technical in some sections. I mean, it's a gravel bike race, but they had some hardcore mountain bike single track, which I was fine with because it was pretty smooth, but there is a lot of people that go in gravel races that cannot ride single track. Like, I grew up mountain biking, so I was okay, but there was a lot of bottlenecks of people getting off their bike.
Single track is the most fun mall.
It was awesome single track too. It was really, really smooth. Like it was almost groomed. There was barely any roots, and it was just tight, twisty, but it doesn't matter how good you are at riding single track if you're stuck behind 150 people all walking. Like there was moments where you were just standing there for 5 minutes waiting for the train to keep moving. Good though. It was interesting because it had road, had gravel section, it had mountain bike section. Like it was a little bit of everything. So it wasn't like you were just grinding on the road for 6 hours. But super tough, because part of that made it interesting also made it difficult. Like my arms were really sore the next day. Just like lots of handlebar vibration and steering and bike control. Coming off, there's a mountain that was pretty much the last gigantic hill. Took it just a little over an hour to climb up it, but then the backside was super steep, rocky downhill where you had to ride your brakes almost the whole time, because as soon as you let go of the brakes you instantly gained 20 kilometers an hour in speed, and it was so rocky that like my hand flew off the handlebar a few times because it was just like
That sounds a little terrifying.
it was sketchy. I passed a lot of people on that downhill, which was nice because there was people walking. Like it was steep enough. It was a full-on logging road, so it was totally wide, but it was just really steep and rocky.
Send me guys birdie 12 cheers.
So it was nice to, like I say, I tried to not ride the brakes as much as possible, and I teetered on the edge of out of control. Like I would go out of control, hit the brakes, go back into control, out of control, hit the brakes. But the downhill was so long,
Living on the edge.
yeah, like right on the edge of like I might wipe out, but I think I won't wipe out. But my hands got super tired and numb from holding the brakes, and my legs were just killing me from standing up off the saddle. Like it's tough because I just rode up a mountain for over an hour, so you're grinding up this hill, and then you got to put your legs in a static position for 15 minutes, you know, of downhill. So the lactic acid buildup, your legs were just screaming. And then at some point you're like, I can't pull the brake levers anymore. My hands have no power. Like I may have to pull over and get off the bike for 5 minutes.
Flex said I saw for Grex you could get small handlebar brakes near the top too, as well as the normal position.
Yeah, I've seen bikes with those, like up here, and they have little levers and you can just... I really noticed though on the gravel bike, you have...
Flex said people were saying they were nice for descents, supposed to be nice on the wrist.
Yeah, actually riding in the drops. I ride in the drops more in single track and downhill than I do everywhere else. Because in the drops, you can pretty much use one finger at the end of your lever and get huge braking power. But then your hand is holding onto the bar. It's weird to think, but
Clutch said yeah, more leverage.
I felt like I had more.
Clutch said also feel secure, I find.
Yeah, like I felt like I had more control.
Photoden said Jesus, riding down the long drop.
Well, I have flared bars as well, so they're wider at the drops than on the hoods. I just felt like I had more control holding the drops. I heard there was a lot of people. I just put on brand new brake pads the week before the race, and I heard there was a lot of people who were pretty much burning through their brake pads on the last downhill and pretty much wrecking their rotor. Oh, I saw a few people though with rim braked gravel bikes. Oh man, there is no way you could go down that hill with rim brakes. You would overheat the rims and blow a tire. Like, there is not a chance. Those guys were walking.
Whilst Clutch said I still have rim brakes, find them fine mostly. But I have good pads.
Yeah, I had a rim brake cross bike and I blew a tube.
I have to feather them.
Yeah, there's a lot of feathering going on. I felt like I could have used bigger rotors for that one section too. I got 160s front and rear on the bike. And I feel like a 180 would have been better. But if you get too big of a rotor on your cross bike, you got a tiny little tire. It's harder to modulate.
Photoden said meanwhile I've just been addicted to getting the biggest, most vascular Popeye forearms.
Yeah.
No legs being moved in my place.
Super rim brake wrist pump. Just like doing hand the whole way down. It's like rock climbing. Oh, it is really warm.
Whilst Clutch said don't know, I have aluminium rims.
Yeah, on my road bike, I got carbon rims with rim brakes.
Rim brakes have got pretty good.
And the special brake pads you use for the carbon rims,
Stop and full stop are pretty decent pads.
they start making,
Whilst Clutch said I wouldn't do carbon with rim brakes personally.
yeah, they start making a screeching noise when you're pushing it. So you know if the pad starts screeching that you should probably not use the brakes. We don't have actually too many downhills that are long enough that I've ever had an issue. So with my weight, if I can get away with them, then most people shouldn't have a problem.
Whilst Clutch said my bike is also for Roadhouse smiley face. Whilst Clutch said being on loose rock and stuff can be different.
I should probably ride my road bike one of these days. My road bike never leaves the trainer. Oh, I'm looking forward to turning around and getting the tailwind. But I would totally do that race again. I wasn't sure.
Oh, they have a sign
Wow, Clutch said I was looking at that company you mentioned, Naked Bikes. They look pretty nice.
Oh, they're so nice, man. I was in the market for a custom bike. And it's local, so it's...
Photo that said ball sack.
Pulse. I would love a titanium cross bike or gravel bike.
Photo said bro, I spent $3K on a homemade titanium bike. Hip has been too fucked up to ride this season long.
Oh, you gotta get better, man, and ride your bike, because it's a classic.
Photo said I'm doing physio LMAO.
I don't know if titanium...
Said I'm heckin' trying.
I feel like titanium is like an old person bike, because when I was younger, and I even worked in a bike shop for years and years, I didn't care about titanium. But now I'm like, yeah, I totally love a titanium gravel bike. It's like my wife, she's got hip issues right now. I'm going to physio for her hip.
Photo said I'm not really sure what it is for me. I like how light it is, and my bike is also super understated since it's just bare titanium with black Campagnolo components.
Yeah, I think it's just like titanium lasts forever. It looks cool. It's still classic looking, like 20 years from now, like it's still like, yeah, hell yeah, titanium. The color of titanium is kick-ass. Titanium bikes are usually more supple, so for like long distance gravel, it's got a bit of softness to it. Or just in general, long distance.
Said won't complain if someone wants to give me a T-bike.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Said that's mostly a rumor from what I understand.
You know what? It totally is a rumor. I've never really, I've ridden a bunch of titanium bikes from like test rides and stuff.
Clutch said, but the frames last forever, and the chrome look is sweet.
I think carbon, see, when carbon first came out, that was, anyone who owned a titanium bike was always like, well, it's got some give to it and blah, 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 but it's still stiff in the bottom bracket. Because original carbon bikes were just stiff AF, like insanely stiff. But carbon has come along so far in the last 10 years that they can make a carbon bike with a rear end that pretty much soaks everything up, but the bottom bracket is really stiff for pedaling.
Clutch said, do you know what Young's modulus is?
I've heard of it. I don't know exactly.
Said I kind of want to go out for fun for dinner tonight.
Yeah, you do. Why is the walk light ever going on? Oh, yeah.
Commute and said, oh, what do you know? Uber Eats sent me a 40% off coupon.
Do it. Get that 40% off. Which is funny because everyone was always like, aluminum is so... I have aluminum hardtail mountain bike, and it's pretty forgiving. Like, it's got some flex in the rear end.
Wowsifletch said, but aluminum is not as durable though.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing with the replacement derailleur hangers, because you do not bend an aluminum hanger back. You get one chance. You can bend it back once and then it'll snap. Yeah, you can get crazy. Like, I remember the Chromoly bikes from back in the day. Triple butted Chromoly.
Wowsifletch said the biggest upgrade though from my understanding is your seat post, because it acts as a camera on the frame.
Yes, I would say that's probably... I noticed a big difference when I got these bars. The very ends have a bit more give. But I would love to have...
Said that Mofo was schmooping.
Yeah, that guy was going super fast. I'd love to have a carbon seat post that had a bit more flex in it.
Wowsifletch said I do get scared of the snapping though, huh?
Oh, yeah. See, someone said that. I don't really... I'd probably switch it out for cross racing, because that was my concern. Because in cross racing, when you go to mount your bike, after you jump off your bike, you pretty much throw your leg over, you run, throw your leg over, and you land your entire body weight on the seat post and then clip in and pedal away. And I always thought, like, man, like, that is prime time seat post braking, because I've seen guys break seat posts doing that. I mean, you can finesse it, but in the middle of a race when you're tired, you're just kind of like lazy and trying to jump back on your bike.
Wowsifletch said I haven't used one, but there is a suspension shock style seat post.
Yeah, what's the Redshift Sports?
Said, holy Jesus, it's not fun, but I can get 4 poke bowls for $33.
4 for $33. That's a deal. Yeah, Redshift Sports. They make a
Yeah, that's one of them.
seat post and a stem, and I find that both of those would be kind of interesting.
Commute said, how the hell am I going to eat all of it so long?
I like the Redshift Sports quick release aero bars. I was thinking I could use a pair of those.
Mouseflesh said, I haven't seen those. Sound nice though.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive, but yeah, they have little quick release latches that you can just take on and off. A race like the BWR, I was solo for so long of it that aero bars would have been nice to just sit and relax and get some free speed being in a more aero position. But you don't want...
Mouseflesh said, I get worried about a Rio bar slipping.
Yeah. Well,
Mouseflesh said, no, the few people who have had it now. Mouseflesh said, had it happen now.
I have aero bars for my road bike, but my road bike has, the tops are oval and the aero bars are made for the oval, so I don't think they could slip.
Mouseflesh said, I was thinking about putting on a pair on mine. Oh, nice.
It's just nice to,
Mouseflesh said, the tubes on my handlebars are round.
yeah, it's just nice to take your hands off the bars every once in a while and, you know, change hand positions. And if you don't drop your aero bars all the way down, it's a pretty damn comfortable position because you're just resting on your elbows.
Mouseflesh said, been a lot of headwind here lately.
Like my road bike, you gain a minimum 1.5 kilometers to 2K an hour.
Or are you?
Like at least. My TT times drastically dropped with aero bars. So it's more comfortable position and it's faster. Especially if you're doing long distance rides and you're going 1 kilometer an hour faster. For no extra effort.
Mouseflesh said, not sure if I feel it in the stable.
No, it's not. It's weird at first. It's weird to steer.
Mouseflesh said, also don't love being away from the brakes.
Yeah, you definitely don't do it if you're anywhere in traffic or around other people. I was on a charity ride and this guy wanted to join with we had a little pack of people that were all sort of drafting each other, and the guy kept on going in his aero bars. And we were like, no, please don't ride near us.
Mouseflesh said, huh.
And he wouldn't ride like in the row with us. He was right off to the side, and every time he went into the aero bars, he would swerve all over the place. Like, it was super sketchy, like insane. We were like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Mouseflesh said, my balance is pretty good on the bike, but I like to be in a balanced place on the bike too, huh?
Yeah, once you use them for a while, it doesn't take long. They say it's weird at first, but a lot of events, like you can't go in fondos with aero bars.
I can ride with no hands at all.
I actually bought this little weird,
Clutch said don't normally go.
this little weird bar attachment. It won't.
Photo said I have trouble riding no hands while pedaling. Whilst Clutch said it's a nice place for bags also, it seems like.
Yeah, you could totally hang stuff from your aero bars. Yeah, I bought this. It's this weird little bar attachment, and it goes on your steer tube. And it's like having a mini set of handlebars farther back, and it was made for aero bars. Because that's one thing is, a lot of times aero bars put you in a weird position that you need to like move your seat forward, or you're too stretched out. So these put your aero bars about 1.5 inches back from what they would normally mount. Go ahead.
Seems like getting the fit right is important.
Well, that's the thing, yeah, because what standard aero bars, when you put them on your bike, the TT position is different than so it usually puts you a lot more forward. And to compensate for that forward position, you usually have to raise your saddle height up and forward just a little bit.
Clutch said I feel like with my frame I would be in a good place, but not sure.
Well, a lot of the new aero bars too have way more adjustment, so they can go farther back. But the idea is when you move forward, you almost want your elbow and forearm to be at a 90-degree angle for comfort, because if you're too stretched out like this, it puts weird pressure on your tricep.
Whilst Clutch said makes sense.
But yeah, if your elbow and forearm are at a 90-degree angle and you're leaning on it, there's no weight anywhere. It's all on your joints. I could ride for hours.
What the hell is going on? Whole thing pelleting out in front.
Yeah, busy ass today.
Clutch said from what I understand it's better to have your arms going slightly up.
Oh yeah, for like, well, you watch the new way of aero is you have your hands in front of your face. That apparently,
Said Aria, why the team?
yeah, that seems to be like, you want to tuck in and you want to have your hands basically blocking the wind around your face.
Then yeah, exactly.
Yeah, some of the new TT bikes are crazy, like your forearms are almost on a 45-degree angle, but all those TT bikes,
Like if we help
they're totally designed to be able to accommodate that. And on your road bike, it's not really meant. I like it. Some people can't stand it. It was like funny watching Slow Spoon when he was doing all his triathlon training, because he was trying to ride in Zwift on the aero bars and he was struggling hard with it. I guess you gotta have, I have decent hip flexibility and hamstring flexibility, so me leaning over like this doesn't really make any difference. I can still pedal just fine, except my knees hit my gut, and that makes it uncomfortable. But some guys find in the aero position they lose a lot of power.
Clutch said watching others it seems like it is harder to get walks.
Help you please. What is going on? One sec. Wonder if I can do it from this end.
Candid for 80 said phone me.
Yeah, one sec. I might. It says the encoder is offline. So is the USB tethering working?
Grinsper said getting a bike fit is key to both comfort and power, be it an aero or upright. Hey Zab.
One sec. Ugh. Where's my phone? back. All right. Yes, sorry. My wife's stream was not starting. It's the joys of IRL. Learning that nothing ever works all the time. So it's like, I'm like trying to troubleshoot it with her on the phone, but I think her computer might have gone to sleep at home, like, because I can remotely look at her stuff and it seemed to be working, but it wasn't going live in OBS, which means like BellaBox was transmitting video. She's not the most patient person either. So like I warned her, I'm like, IRL streaming, you're gonna have issues, like it's not gonna work every time. So I said, you're gonna like get on your bike and it's not gonna work and then you're gonna get mad.
Said she was fast this morning, smiley face.
Yes, definitely Jetson Nano. Well, I was able to look through the app. I could see remotely that the BellaBox was pushing bitrate to the home OBS, but OBS isn't turning on. Her computer might have gone to sleep. That's probably exactly what's happened. It's probably got some power saving mode and her computer went to sleep and she can't access OBS. Yeah. Oh, green light. What? Why is there headwind? It's supposed to be headwind. I'm supposed to be breaking personal records on this downhill. Damn it. All these damn cars following the rules of the road and going the speed limit. There's a massive headwind going this way, and that was its prime segment personal record time. So now I gotta go home and troubleshoot wife's stream setup.
What did you break?
Yeah, what did I break? It's my fault. I broke it. No, we think her computer went to sleep. Because I could look at the app and her Bella box was pushing bitrate. But when she does the whole exclamation mark start thing, it's not going live. So the only reason it wouldn't go live is something's turned off at home. I wouldn't even have ever actually thought to look at that, but it makes sense now that if her computer went to sleep. Yeah. I tried it actually in her chat because I have like moderator status as well. And it just wouldn't do anything. But it's too hard to try troubleshooting over the phone. It's good for her though. I warned her. I said IRL streaming, I said it's not gonna work every single time. There's kids home, but I don't want to have to deal with that. I can't, actually, that's a good question. I can't remote into her computer. I can remote into my computer. She needs a little bit of adversity though. Like, she can't have everything run so smooth all the time.
And not sure remote and would work if the computer is asleep.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is the computer went to sleep. That's what it would be like if you had full-time staff. Like, oh, my stream doesn't work.
Flex said you can wake a computer remotely, but it's obtuse how to do it.
Yeah, I don't feel like learning.
Fletch said also depends how the PC is set up.
Well, we'll find out exactly what the problem is once we get home. Funny though, like she did good.
Said remote servers will solve all your problems.
Yeah, that's the next thing. She's gonna be like, well, I just want cloud OBS, pay for cloud OBS, because that's what would have solved the problem. Let's pay $80 a month for a cloud OBS server.
Fletch said, huh?
But she did everything right though. She totally got it up to the point where it should have ran. So she did good. It's just, unfortunately, it's a problem that you can't really fix from the side of the road. It's happened to me before. I've driven to go stream, driven for an hour and a half, got to where I was going, and something wasn't working. Had to phone my kids and talk my kids through what to click. Actually, it was not last Friday, but the Friday before that, the power went out, so our computers turned off.
Said had it before my computer turned itself off or maybe power outage.
Yeah, like.
Lunch said I bet that was fun.
Yeah. Oh, it is fun. Well, dude, what's funny is you're so used to using your own computer, you know where to click, but I don't necessarily know what the names are because I just click on the icon. So it's like trying to explain it to somebody else is super difficult because you're like, you know, the icon, it's near the bottom left of the desktop and it's like blue and yellow.
Said we all need to write user manuals for our streaming setup so anyone can do it.
Yeah. Well, actually, that Chrome Remote Desktop, that has worked wonders if your computer is actually on, because I have used it on my phone to go and turn something on, like an app, like a program on my computer. But yeah, if you had a cloud OBS server, well, that too. There's no way I could walk my wife through OBS. It's getting better, but my wife gets impatient, so she asks me, "What's wrong?" And most of the time, I don't know what's wrong, but I can sit in front of a computer and usually figure it out. But she'll be like, "No, just tell me what I need to do." And I'm like, "I don't know what you need to do." "Well, you're no help." I'm like, "If you leave the room, I will sit down and I will figure it out and I will fix it for you."
Said click all the buttons.
Yeah, click everything, open everything. And it's warm today, so that's another strike, as my wife does not like the heat. So she was standing with the hot weather trying to troubleshoot why her stream won't work.
said put your screen back on, your screen problem solved.
Well, that's what I should have done. Actually, you know what? You're so smart, Dimitri. That's what a nice husband would have done. I would have been like, wait a sec, I'll stop my stream and I'll put yours back on my OBS. Which is interesting. I didn't know that that would actually work, but you could stream to multiple OBSs at the same time. Because she was streaming to hers and she was streaming to mine.
Renob said add both and you can race home from work.
Yeah. You could totally then, if you were riding together, you could do a split screen stream and just have both Bella boxes going to one OBS.
Renob said I think what you need are different SRT endpoints or RTMP.
Yeah. Well, because if you split the screen, it would have worked. The problem this morning was on the OBS source list, I had the B higher than the Nano. So when she turned on, because hers was higher in the list, it overrode the video source of my stream. But if you made it half and half,
Renob said, but now you can also dual cam if your wife doesn't plan to stream.
yeah, I could do that. Dual Bella box setups, sharing the Nighthawk M1 router internet connection. That's getting a little extreme.
Renob said was wipe on one SIM.
Yeah, she's using her cell phone. She has a really good data plan on her cell phone. And I set the bit rate a bit lower so she doesn't burn through.
Renob said, oh nice.
Well, most of the places, like, you can do on one SIM as long as you stay close to town.
Renob said in camera was HDMI or wireless to the B.
Yeah, no, it's HDMI. We have the X3000 unmounted underneath her aero bars. And then I ran the cable along the top tube. It looks, actually, I'm pretty happy with this setup because we got herself a quad lock phone mount for the phone on her aero bars. And then I ran an extra USB in like the nice plastic sleeving. So there's 3 cables in one sleeve all the way to the front of the bike. And then the cable goes into her bike bag. But the B setup is nice. All she has is the bee and a battery pack. That's it. Like super light, not a lot of equipment. It's got 3 cables. That's it. For the most part, as long as you stay in good.
Said, damn, makes me want to get the bee now low.
Well, yeah, because like with the cam, like the bee's got the HDMI built in, so you don't have to worry about a cam link or extension cable. Like it's a super clean setup. 1 battery, the bee, 3 cables, done. I Velcroed the cables to her bike, so all she has to do is like put her phone in, plug the USB into the phone. Camera is permanently attached. Yeah, it's the guy. Yeah, the guy who wrote the Bella Box software. He was doing his own custom hardware. So basically, a custom Jetson Nano in a little case with a built-in HDMI input. But he gets the parts and pieces made, and he pretty much hand assembles them, and they're a bit of a hot commodity to get.
I didn't think it was available yet.
Yeah, he only I don't know how many he builds, but there's like a lottery system to try to get one.
Said, yeah.
I think I got mine during round 2 of like the second time that he was ever selling them. I missed round 1.
Said, think he does a batch every few months.
Yeah, well, because like I say, he hand assembles them and then tests them, and it's probably a little bit of a process, but the price is really, really good because you don't have to buy a cam link. A cam link is still 120 bucks. So if you can find a Nano and then you buy a cam link, you're almost at the same price as the bee. And because it's a custom carrier board, you don't have the power issues that the Nano has. Like when I'm running the Nano, I have, you know, a USB hub, a powered USB hub, because you can't really run anything off the Nano that draws power. But with the bee, he has an uprated carrier board, so I think you can take 45 amps. So you don't need USB hubs or splitters or anything. You just plug things in, 1 battery pack, plug it all in, like it's hooked up to a PD battery pack, and it simplifies everything. Less clutter. And I thought of my wife because she always wanted to stream, but there's no way. Like, if you see the mess of cables I have in my frame bag, it's insane. There's so much stuff in the bag. Oh, and when you buy a bee, I think you get 6 months of cloud service or his remote relay, which normally costs 10 bucks a month. So that's 60 bucks. Plus you don't have to buy a cam link. So the price that he sells them for, it pretty much breaks even if you were to build a Nano yourself. But availability, you may never be able to get one. Yeah, the case he's got around it too.
Flex said yeah. Never seen one actually for sale, huh?
I think the lottery system he did.
Flex said Justin was hard to get a few months ago.
Oh gosh. Well, it's super hard to find. Like, I think his lottery system worked pretty well. When I bought mine, he pretty much put a message in Discord saying that a batch is going up for sale today at some point. And then I sat on his website hitting refresh every 30 seconds.
We'll have to look into that.
And I spent all day hitting refresh, 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 refresh. And then finally they were in stock and I was like, buy it. And he was doing them in small batches. He'd put, 3 on the site.
Said young people complained because of time zone. Klaus and Fletch said didn't know there was a Discord.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. Yeah, and then he would email you and say that your name got drawn, and then you had, I think it was like, you had 24 hours to actually buy it, and if you didn't do it in 24 hours, it went to the next person. The case 2 on the B does a really good job for heat. When my wife was streaming this morning, her Nano, it was running at 41 degrees.
Rianov said, is it weird thinking of buying a system but also feel bad not supporting Mux?
Oh, well, I think the Mux, I think he's on to different things nowadays. I think the Muxer 1 is super on the back burner. But it's amazing how expensive everything got, because I bought the Nano that I'm using. I paid $70 for it 2 years ago. And that was the MSRP price, was $69.99. I should have bought 15 of them. Yeah, there's if you look, you can find them. They're not as bad as or as scarce as they were. Yeah. There's also the Seed recomputer, the J1010. That's.
I remember watching Rob buy some in Japan because you couldn't get them anywhere.
Yeah, the Seed J1010 works as well. It's basically a Nano on a custom carrier board, and they've always been in stock, well, recently, so you can get one of those pretty easily. No, J1010. And this in seed is spelled with 3 E's. It's called the Seed Recomputer J1010. It works, just the installation of BellaBox is a little bit more complicated because you have to do it on a thumb drive. Yeah, the J1010 is nice because it's a 4 gigabyte board, but they got rid of the 4 gigabyte barrel adapter and put a USB-C in its place. So it's like the best of both worlds between a 2 gig model and the 4 gig model. Yeah, it does the full. Yeah, it's exactly the same specs, just the installation of BellaBox is a bit different. On a normal board, you just flash an SD card, put the SD card in, turn it on, you're good to go. Oh, it's nice in the shade. Who is on?
Dmitry Kuprianov said later. Dmitry Kuprianov said catch you all later.
See you, Dimitri. Thanks for stopping by.